Hey guys, what's up? It's John with JC Radio. We're here with Alex and Cody. You know who we are, and if you don't. Actually, this is probably a good episode to start listening to us on. So,
yeah.
Hopefully, anyways.
Don't listen to season 1.
If you want to see how we got where we're at, listen to season 1.
Listen, yeah, I don't know.
Always be proud of where you start, man. You have to start with 1 to get to 50.
Have you listened to our first episode?
I have.
I mean, I'm not saying they're great, but you have to start somewhere.
I guess I'm proud. I'm proud when I look at, literally, physically look at the past. Like when I put up that 2019 post, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pretty low. I was having the end of the year depression. And I was like, well, everyone else is putting up, look what we did in 2019. So I was like, I guess I could do that. And, yeah, your chair's broken, by the way.
I was trying to fix it.
He's
wasn't working.
He's, leaning up. But, by the way, I don't have my spit guard. So if I sound like this, I'm sorry.
Or you hear some real hard P's and S's or something.
Well, I do have a question if we're going to talk about the past. And you two might be able to answer it.
Okay.
So they just released who's getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
No, did not see it.
I think I've heard it.
On the first one was obvious it was a rocker, but the one that threw me is the Notorious B.I.G. is getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, I guess it makes sense because I didn't know they let other musicians into the Rock and Roll.
NWA's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was like, well, he's a rapper. Why isn't he in the Rapper Hall of Fame?
Here's how I've tried to explain it.
Yeah. I've already asked John about why NWA made it in because I also thought it was weird. So it's the only reason Notorious B.I.G. doesn't surprise me anymore.
Let's be honest. Even though those guys are rappers, there's no doubt about that. They're also I guess by the definition of the term rock stars, that they are flipping rock stars. Like when Kanye West was like, I'm the best rock star ever. It's yes, but no. The way he was putting it was guitar rock star. But you got people walking around I feel good about myself. I feel like a rock star. In that sense.
Yeah, but a rock star doesn't necessarily mean you play rock music.
No, exactly. And NWA, if you
with that logic, though,
yeah.
Are there any other genres that have been inducted?
Johnny Cash.
Country.
Okay,
well that would make sense.
Country.
Okay.
Johnny Cash was considered rock at one point.
Yeah, I mean, but I can understand that, but still, if you talk to the average person, it's hey, Johnny Cash, they think of country. I think.
Yeah, he's not as surprising though as NWA and Notorious B.I.G. because
of that,
kind of
there was another. I can't remember who the other one was. There was another one too that was listed. I was like, that one's odd too.
Let me just look it up.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know. I just with my logic, I was like, well, why don't they just put them in the Music Hall of Fame? But then I got to thinking, I was like, wait, isn't it the Rock and Roll Musical Hall of Fame?
I have no idea what the full name is.
No, and
didn't you want the 2020 inductees?
No, I just want to look at the basic list.
Oh,
because
there should be an article on it because that's what it was when I saw it.
And honestly, when I heard NWA was being in, I was like, that makes perfect sense. Especially the respect that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube have for the rock and roll genre, and how they've even worked around rock and roll and be how can we use this rock and roll sound but make it hip hop and stuff like that, the mutual respect they have for just other genres, especially rock and roll. I'm this makes perfect sense that these guys would be in it, and to even bridge that gap of rock and roll is more than just sex, drugs, and alcohol. It's about who you are.
That was last year's class, Alex.
Yeah, last year, Def Leppard.
None of them
Jackson,
on that one really
Radiohead.
surprised me. Janet slightly.
I'm surprised Radiohead. Oh no, they performed. Sorry. So. Oh no. Yeah, Radiohead. I'm surprised they were in it.
I mean, they're straight rock.
Oh yeah, The Cure. Finally, The Cure was in it. Talk about the verse. The Cure has been labeled as pop, alternative, goth, punk, rock, everything else. And so about time they flipping get in it. Let's see if we could find something. But yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me that Notorious Big is in it.
It just surprised me because it's they're rap.
You're just looking for the full list?
I guess.
Let's go from A to Z then.
A to Z.
Isn't that going to be like all of them though?
I think.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I think Willie Nelson's in it, but I can't remember.
Well, he's also Southern rock though.
Aretha's kind of
he's country.
out there.
R&B, yeah.
Oh, Whitney Houston. She's not a rocker.
No. There's Aretha Franklin.
So
I don't know. Well, then here, beg this question.
I remember
why haven't they ever talked about changing the name from like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to the Musical Hall or Musician
That's what the Grammys is.
Most of the people in there.
Show.
I mean, but it's still rock and roll. I mean, like
most of the people in there are like rock or inspired rock. You know, you've got like Elvis, which is rockabilly, or you've got the old like.
But why haven't they like made a different Hall of Fame? Or is it just one of those things? It's
like one for like all musicians in general. They probably should.
Yeah, the Jackson 5 is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, that makes sense there.
And if they start putting in,
like, don't get me wrong, I understand. Like Biggie, it makes sense now that you explained it's more for other people because, like, him and Tupac changed an era. Of music. So like,
and like,
Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac's
that
in
also
it
makes
too.
question, is Tupac in there?
Yeah, he's right here.
Right there.
Okay.
And that's the thing, like you know, there's more than just being a rock star than being a rock star. It's about the respect. It's about who you are. It's about how you hold yourself. You know,
I mean, Nat King Cole's in there.
Yeah, you know, there's NWA. I mean,
a lot of them. Yeah. Other than like Tupac, NWA, Notorious B.I.G., most of them are either rock or like inspired rock because you could say like El King Cole or any of those guys. You know, they had an influence on rock based on the style that they were already playing.
Gotcha.
Kind of like, you know, Elvis. He's more rockabilly with what we know now, but you know he was considered just rock and roll at one point.
Do you think Eminem will ever make it then? Because he did change way.
Honestly,
I don't know because the ones that have made it in for rap were super early guys. Eminem came later, so I don't know if that.
Much
but
later,
he did change the genre. Like he drastically
he stepped over the line. I was like, I'm a rapper and like this is what I am.
I don't know if they would consider him for it now just because
well no, not now. I'm just talking about like whenever we're older.
Here are the rappers I would not be surprised if they were in the Hall of Fame. Ice Cube or Dre separately than NWA. I guess Ice-T, but he's got body count.
He could make it in with
so
both.
he could make it in with both. Jay-Z I could totally see being inducted. And 50 Cent, and he's like all about that rock and roll life.
Interesting.
And like he's a pretty cool guy, and he's good on guitar. I don't know if you ever heard him. And maybe Lil Wayne because he actually did release a rock album after Carter 3.
Is that the one with Prom Queen on it?
Yeah, Rebirth.
Was that full album that way? I just thought that was a single that he did that way.
No, that was his rock album. Like he played guitar. He's not the best guitar player, but like if you listen to that album, like it was a legit.
I mean, like can't say album. I'm a Lil Wayne fan, but I mean, Prom Queen wasn't bad instrumentally speaking. And
like Lil Wayne, even going back to like who you were in music, like he changed a lot in the music industry. He started when he was like 14 or 16.
And then Snoop though
worked his way.
You didn't say Snoop.
I could see Snoop basically being in it. I feel like that one though would be more for a popularity thing than for him being a rocker. I'm not saying he's not a rock star, but the way he holds himself is more of like
I just don't exactly know what gets you into it too is the thing. Like I don't know what they look at to even put you in it.
Cheap Trick is in it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Sorry, I just saw that today and I was like, that was really odd to me.
They've had some weird ones in there.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered the list that I saw and I would tell you.
Well, let's go back to Google.
Yeah, just look up this year's inductees.
Oh, Pat Benatar.
Those are the nominees. Are these the ones getting in, or is that just the list?
Did they do it yet?
Also, I think Pat Benatar's already in because it's got Whitney up there as well, and we saw her already in it. You'd probably have to click on that one because that is the nominees. I just don't think those pictures were. I think that was just in relation.
Well, no, that was the first name was. Okay, here we go.
The Doobie Brothers. I thought Whitney was already. Okay, so yeah, I guess.
Big, T-Rex.
Oh, yeah, they did have this year's already in it.
9 Inch Nails. I did hear about that.
Yeah, the 9 Inch Nails one was on
Irving Azoff. I don't know who that is.
It might have been Whitney Houston that song. I was like, really?
Yeah, could have been. Not super surprising on her end.
I've always wanted to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know Justin went, and he said, basically from what he told me, I would probably never leave that place.
Said he didn't have enough time to do everything.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm like, dude, I gotta. Well, I tried to plan that JC Radio trip last year for us to go to that, but that didn't.
Yeah, literally, that was kind of the last thing on the plan. We had to have other stuff to try and plan that, and everything else fell through.
Yeah.
So, weren't gonna drive out to Ohio just for that.
Yeah, and
that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I had this huge. I think it was before. Yeah, it was before you were even on. Yeah. I had this huge plan. We were going. I'll say it. We were going to go to Anarchy Fest and cover that. And then we were going to go to my aunt's place and stay there for like 2 or 3 days and do nothing but work and edit and post. Because she has a barn and we were just going to stay in there. And then I was going to go take a 3-hour drive up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Cleveland. To Cleveland to go to the Warped Tour 20th anniversary show, which ended up being a total bogus trip.
Yeah, they ripped off Cleveland so hard, dude.
Yeah, I mean, now after looking at the pictures, I was like, should have went. But anyways,
Cleveland still got shafted.
Yeah, but you could use that Warped Tour ticket to get inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We're gonna also try and get a hold of the guys and talk to them about the ins and outs of what it takes to keep the place going, how they get some of the memorabilia, stuff like that as well.
Hosting the ceremony and everything, get a tour of everything, but
get a more backstage thing, but also go on the tour and see what they actually have in there.
But and that was the last thing. But Anarchy Camp fell through, Warped Tour fell through, and I was like, well.
Warped Tour kind of fell through. That was also partially because we both looked at it and we're like, yeah, Cleveland got shafted.
Yeah, and by the time they were...
Is that the one where they skipped Simple Plan? Simple Plan was supposed to be at New Jersey.
No,
they went to New Jersey, skipped Ohio, and showed back up at L.A.
Ohio had Cleveland had 6 bands. That was it. And I knew 3 of them. Ooh. Yeah. Cleveland got shafted. Because the East Coast and the West Coast both had 2-day shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days.
2 day,
each,
all day.
And they were
shows.
Yeah, a lot of people at them. Whereas Cleveland had a half a day thing.
Yeah, they started at 3.
Yeah, started at 3, went to 9 or something.
Which
they got shafted hard.
Yeah, I'm Warped Tour usually starts at 10.
Yeah. Remember, usually I think gates opened at 11 or 12, but you get there at 10.
Remember when I wanted to be there first in line?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And those, and then a few years and
almost first.
And then we'd get there 2 hours early, and then immediately I'm like, what was the point of this? We're all going to be inside at the same time anyway.
You still get in quicker, so you're not trying to fight the crowd.
I mean, yeah, I was able to look at the list and go and get my merch that I wanted, and then not fight everyone. But it was funny because for some reason every time I went to St. Louis, it was the hottest day of the summer.
Dude, every time, dude, without fail, every time Warped hit St. Louis, and it was the hottest of the summer.
There was that time.
Well, it didn't help that they always put it in July.
Oh yeah, but
still no.
The one our first year was expected because it had been 110 plus every day, so you knew that one was going to be stupid hot. One of the last ones, man, you went to with your buddy Jerome, that one just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It had been I don't know, mid 80s, maybe super low 90s most of the summer. That day hit, it was 98.
Yeah, and they moved a bunch of the bands underneath the canopy. It looked like it was going to rain, but it didn't. Yeah. And then our last year there, it was still stupid hot, and there were clouds moving in, but then the clouds pivoted around us.
The year with Jerome, we were planning on doing Black Veil Brides meet and greet. We'd got the passes and everything, and they had to cancel because straight up after their set, Andy got off stage and passed out
of a heat stroke.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, that day just came out of nowhere. It wasn't that bad most of the summer, and then just out of nowhere, boom, 98.
And we got there early. It was cool because we were next, we passed the Asking Alexandria tour bus. It started off really positive. We got there early. We had our cans. We were in line.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And not only was it stupid hot, we had to wait an hour and a half for the first band to get on that we wanted to watch initially. Then we were just chilling underneath the canopy because that's where all the big bands were. And so we were just
which
chilling.
Was weird.
Yeah, well, I imagine because of how hot it was.
Yeah, they moved a lot of them.
So we were like napping and stuff, and then Black Veil Brides went on, and then we went to go get the meet and greet so I could get my pick sign that I got from Ashley.
No, we had it before that because we had to stop by their booth because remember they had those wristbands.
Oh yeah, we got the wristbands.
So we went there first. And
we
we're
went
like,
there
hey,
first.
We need a wristband.
Yeah, then I asked because Jerome wanted to be there for Ask Alexandria, and they played next. And I was like, "Well, do you want to watch them or do you want to go to the meet and greet?" And he's like, "No, get that pick sign. Let's go to the meet and greet." Go to the meet and greet. They cancel it. We can either go to the other side of the flipping venue again and see the last maybe 3 songs of Ask Alexandria, or do something else.
There was 1 or 2 people later in the day we wanted to see, but
we looked at the schedule and it was 3 or 4 hours until the next band that we wanted to see was on.
Well, really wanted to. There were probably a couple here and there that it's okay, I'd like to see them, but one that the next ones we were gotta see them weren't for another couple hours.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So Jerome's we're all basically heat stroking.
Yeah,
and Jerome's I'm okay with leaving, and I felt bad because he gave me the ticket. And I was like, well, I don't want to you spent just money on this ticket. I don't want to bail, but we all talked about it. So we ended up going to Guitar Center.
Partially because it was AC.
Partially
get us out of the heat and get us into the air conditioner.
Yeah. So so we went to Guitar Center and then we just went home.
Yeah. First time I've ever left a concert early.
Yeah. I've never done that before. Well, I've never done it because I was I bought the tickets.
Technically that was our second one, but the first one we didn't.
We're not talking about that. It was the last show too. So
there were a couple still going.
No, they were the last one.
Do we leave with the last one going on that one? I thought there was 2 or 3 still left.
No, that was the last one. I remember that because I was I've never left a Warped Tour early, and then
the worst thing was I kind of wanted to see the last band too.
Yeah, I really did too.
I was Prada's good.
I've never seen them.
Sweet.
And we're just walking away going, yeah, I wish I saw you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, But, if I buy a ticket, I'm going to be there for the whole show. I don't care how much it sucks. But since I didn't, and the guy that bought it was just I am okay with leaving right now. It didn't help that we parked a mile away from the place.
Jerome was like, nah, man, we're not going to use the parking lot. We're going to park across the street in this random, parking lot for some building. And I was like, okay.
I mean, technically that was smarter, if we didn't leave early. Because then we could have just pulled out and skipped the traffic. But because we did leave early, I was like, why didn't we park right here?
Yep.
So, I like Warped Tour.
Oh, dude, Warped was great.
Warped was great.
I've been told we need to check out Point Fest this year because apparently the lineup.
I've actually
really
been
good.
to a Point Fest.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
How was it?
It was all right. It was hot. Because, again, it was end of July, beginning of August.
Who plans these?
And
the only time they can pull off festivals like that, because you're not going to do it in the winter because it's outside. You're not going to have people freezing all their butts off.
I don't know. The Misfits did a show in the winter, and it was really cool because people were throwing snowballs at each other.
But not a festival.
People were throwing snowballs at each other.
It'd be cool.
It was all right.
They got to wait till everyone's out of school, too, so summer.
It was all right. The lineup was pretty good. It was
this year's supposed to be really good.
The main bands were Red. I want to say it was Red, Papa Roach, 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin. I think those were the main 4.
Classics, man.
No, Seether, because he toured with 3 Days Grace.
Was that Seether before or after Rise Above this came out?
Right before.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that.
I know. I saw Papa Roach, Seether, and Red together in Poplar Bluff, and Seether sucked. And I don't care if I say that because he was terrible. He was a terrible showman.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about what happened with that.
Yeah, you talked
to
me. But I didn't know that prior.
Well, what's funny is I saw Seether at the 2015 or 16.
We saw him. You saw him before that. We saw him with.
No, No, I saw him once, in 2012.
Yeah. The boat.
And they sucked. I'll admit that. And
they
then
sounded
I saw them
good, but their stage presence sucked.
Yeah, and then I saw them in 2015 at Rockfest in Kansas City. But everyone around us was like, "That was a horrible show," and I was like, "Really?" Compared to the first time I saw them, this was the best show I've seen yet.
The main reason we went to Point Fest is because my buddy who's in a band at the time that I went to high school with, he doesn't do it anymore. he played at Pops, and like Pops had a stage there, and they did a Battle of the Bands competition.
Okay.
And they got second.
Nice.
So like with being second, they were like first runner up into getting into the Pop stage of Point Fest.
Nice.
Like, they didn't get it, obviously, but like we still went and we watched like Hollywood Undead. About to date myself. I'm trying to think. It was like Hollywood Undead, the 5 I named, and then I can't remember who else was there though. It's been so long. It was like 2008.
I'm not gonna lie. I stopped liking Hollywood Undead after I saw them live. Like they put on a good show, but for some reason, like after that show, I was like,
was it
this
before
band
or after they
yeah,
kicked out the producer?
It was after.
That's why. When they had the producer, they were a lot better than with.
Wait, the producer. What? Yeah, no, because it was.
He was the main rapper.
No, that was Deuce. His name was Deuce. It's Deuce.
Producer Deuce.
Whatever. Yeah, well, he was only in the first album.
Yeah. No, he was in the second one.
No, wasn't.
He had 3 songs he was credited for.
I don't
no idea.
That. Hold on.
All I know is I remember you being a huge Hollywood Undead fan, and then you saw their concert, and you're like, not so much. And
before they kicked him out, they were a lot better. And then they added the other guy, and I didn't like him.
He was all right. I don't know. Just like for some reason after that, yeah. Only that album. He was in the second album.
I thought he wasn't.
I'd look up the actual album and see who's credited on it.
But yeah, no, after I saw him live for some reason, and like I met Funny Man and he was like legit dude. But yeah, walking on the way back to my car, I was like, that band sucks. And there you go.
Yeah,
that was it.
I mean, I've never been a huge Hollywood Undead fan. I mean, I've heard some of their stuff on Pandora, and it's not like I just am like, oh, I gotta get rid of it. But I'm also like, still
honestly,
not a
my
fan.
least favorite concert was them. Who sings Little Sister?
Dude, no idea.
Who's the dude y'all wanted to interview that I said no to?
A lot of people.
No, like legitimately, I was like, I don't want to interview this guy because of X, Y, and Z reasons that you read to me last week.
Remember.
The dude that was arrested for a bunch of stuff.
Oh, Ronnie.
What band?
Ronnie Ratty. At that time, he was probably in Escape the Fate.
Escape the Fate. I saw Escape the Fate, Hollywood Undead, Atreyu.
I heard Atreyu's good.
Atreyu was good. Atreyu and Hollywood Undead were good. Little Sister. Escape the Fate I wasn't a big fan of.
I got more into Atreyu as I've gotten older because I had a buddy in high school try and get me into them then, and I just was not feeling it. Like, I'd heard a couple of their songs, and I was like, no. But they've come up on my Pandora, and I'm like, man, I really, threw that away way too quick. Because I'm like, they're pretty solid.
Like Doomsday and...
I don't know which ones I've heard. I just know every now and then I'll look at it and be like, who's this? And I'll say Atreyu. I'm like, huh.
All right, so the Hollywood Undead album that just came out when I saw them was Notes from the Underground in 2013. And that's when I was like... And, I listened to the album, I was like, I guess that's good.
That's their third album, isn't it?
That's their one...
Third or fourth.
2, 3, fourth.
Fourth, okay. I was off by
one.
But he's credited on the second album.
Now, let me look.
You have to actually,
I know.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that
Desperate Measures.
Desperate Measures.
That's probably their second one because that's in 2009.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know what you're going to have to go to look at it.
What's it?
Shouldn't it have a list of credits?
It would at somewhere on it, but just looking at that, it's just giving you the track list.
Gotcha.
Click on the Wikipedia. I get it's Wikipedia, but Wikipedia's gotten better. So you might be able to find something somewhere, probably under personnel. It'll show him on there somewhere if he's credited in it.
Oh, wait, I think that's their live. I think that's their live album. Right. Oh no, this is their live album. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know why we didn't do this. Hold on.
I don't know what you're even talking about.
Look up his thing and see how long he was in.
His wiki
until 2010. So yeah, he would have been on the second one.
Okay, I guess he was. I guess American Tragedy was when he was not on it.
No, really effed up story about him though.
There's a lot of effed up stories about him.
Are there as many about him as there is Clown from Slipknot?
Different type of effed up story. All right, keep going.
Oh, I didn't know where I was going with that.
Oh, okay.
I was just honestly
all right. Anyways, but yeah, no, like Hollywood Undead, like used to be a good fan. But they're the only band I've left the show and been like they suck for like literally no reason. I
thought you did that with Sleeping with Sirens too.
No, I didn't like. I didn't like.
You had a reason for that.
You know who's actually really good live?
I didn't like Sleeping with Sirens before I saw them live. Before I was forced to see them live.
I guess it was afterward. You were like, yeah, they were even worse.
Yeah, they were a disappointment.
I just know you were like really disappointed after seeing them live, but I guess you had a reason for that one. Whereas I guess Hollywood Undead,
I don't know what was my reason.
Something about their sound you didn't like. Something about the live sound. You're like, oh, it was just bad.
There was.
Oh, is it like Hawthorne Heights?
No, like their equipment was bad. His voice was bad, and
never good.
And like
things that just didn't age well,
like things
weren't tuned right or something.
Yeah, like they were just a bunch of jerks. Like he just seemed like he was pissed off. And I was like, dude, like this is
as bad as Seether.
No, the worse because he wasn't even up front. He was like chilling behind or next to the drum set. And I was like, dude, like this is like your legit job. Like, get up here, put on a face. Based on when we saw
Seether, probably worse. Based on when Alex saw him, I'd say it was probably pretty even.
Yeah, I was like, buddy, like get up there, put on a show face, and be like, hey,
if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. No one's forcing you to stay in this.
Which after what happened to Seether, I guess I don't really blame him. It's just
he should have for Seether, he should have stepped back. And, like, taking a break and then been like, okay, let's go.
You know, one of the best concerts I saw was Rev Theory and Pop Evil, though. Definitely one of the best.
I should have saw Pop Evil when they were in town. I didn't, but I should have.
I need to see when Rev Theory's coming through because Rev Theory is awesome.
I don't think I know them.
Dude, Broken Bones is probably the saddest song I've ever
heard.
Have you heard
the theme song for Blue Mountain State ever?
No.
Light It Up.
Give me a hell. Give me a
sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, you wouldn't watch Blue Mountain State.
No, but theme song really good.
I've seen like 2 episodes of Blue Mountain State, and I said, F this crap.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, dude, same.
No.
But it's not
except the movie.
John
the movie was
show.
bad. I didn't like the movie.
Oh,
I think your brother showed me the movie. Yeah, your brother showed me the movie because that's when I walked in. Your grandpa was watching it.
No, that's a different movie. He was watching National Lampoon something or another.
Your grandpa needs to stop watching these movies.
All right. Grandpa speaking of movies,
he just happens to walk in if it's on, and then he has grandpa comments, which are pretty much what most people would probably expect.
Right. Well, I didn't know your grandpa that well when I saw that. And I just walk in, and like all of a sudden, like I'm seeing like.
I don't remember which National Lampoon it is. It's the one that Paris Hilton was in.
Yeah, and like they were like girls doing girls things, and I walk in and I was like, Grandpa, I was like, what are you guys watching? And what did he say?
He's like, Grandpa, I was asleep, but you told me about it later. I'm pretty sure Grandpa said something about it. We're watching naughty girls doing naughty things.
Yeah, and I was like, and like. He's there, like, with, like, a grin on his face, like, smiling, and, like, Justin's, like, there in the rocking chair, and I'm, like, standing there, like, really confused, trying to put these pieces together, and then all of a sudden, Grandpa goes, hey, you better sit down, boy, I don't think you can handle all this standing up, and I'm like, what the flip is happening?
Yeah.
I just came over to hang out, and I think I walk into Grandpa being like, yeah, watch this movie with me, boy.
Dude, what National Lampoon is it? Is it The Naked Mile? No, that's American Pie.
That's American Pie. I don't remember what one it is. National Lampoon's had a lot of like small ones that have released, but most people don't
so
know
bad
it.
though.
So, but hey, speaking
of movies,
not
movies.
Well, no, I was gonna have a funnier transition, but now you ruined it. So
I got one.
Speaking of hipster artwork,
Okay.
I don't know. That was funny to me.
The Academy snubbed one of the greatest people of all time.
Oh, we're going with Adam Sandler here?
The Sandman got snubbed from the Oscars.
Did you hear about his response to
his
it?
tweet was great. He was like, the Sandman got snubbed by the Oscars again. But you know who didn't? My good old mama. And had a picture of Kathy Bates as his mama from Waterboy.
Oh.
No, I'll pull it up what he actually said. If my phone will cooperate here.
Yeah, her response was better.
Oh yeah, dude, it was.
Well, you were gonna.
Adam Sandler, after getting snubbed, said, "Bad news: Sandman gets no love from the Academy. Good news: Sandman can stop wearing suits. congrats to all my friends who got nominated, especially Mama, being Kathy Bates from Waterboy. Now, the hard part is going to be finding her response to it, because it was also pretty solid.
She spoke to him like she did in Waterboy.
It's the devil.
Sort of. The same kind of voice and everything through tweet, obviously.
She did call him Bobby Boucher. She was like, it's okay, Bobby.
Okay. Her response was, I love you, my Bobby Boucher. You was robbed, but Mama loves you. I learned a new urban slang word for you. You the goat, not one we eat at home, son.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That also means we're now getting the worst Adam Sandler movie ever made.
He did say that. He came out on Howard Stern and said, if I don't get an Oscar nomination, I'm making the worst movie I could possibly make.
So it's either going to be great because 3? It's so bad, or it's going to actually be awful.
I don't actually mind Grown Ups.
The second time I watched it, I was like, it wasn't funny to me anymore.
No,
I still enjoy his stuff.
It's all right. The one I can't watch is Jack and Jill. I can't
I haven't seen that one.
Jack and Jill or The Ridiculous Six.
No, The Ridiculous Six was good.
No, that movie's so stupid.
No, yeah, but no,
yeah.
Who's gonna say that Adam Sandler movie isn't stupid?
I mean, that's what he got famous on. His stupid movies.
You know what movie I like that I really shouldn't like, but I like is that animated one he did.
8 Crazy Nights.
8 Crazy Nights.
No, dude, 8 Crazy Nights is so good.
I love 8 Crazy Nights.
I used to watch that in the summer, and how much I love that movie. I kid you not. I want to tell a story. One time, the day before I went on a Boy Scout trip to go shotgunning, I was sleeping over a friend's house. Me and my little brother and my friend, because then we were all going to go to the shooting range with the scouts and shoot shotguns all day. Mm-hmm. We got at his house at 4 something, ate dinner at 5, and we went upstairs at 5:30, and we rented Happy Gilmore. We watched, which is approximately a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
We watched Happy Gilmore 6 times in a row. We had, what was it, an hour of sleep before we had to wake up and shoot shotguns. First of all, don't pull an all-nighter before you shoot shotguns.
Yeah, no, horrible plan.
I didn't hit a single pigeon.
I mean, on top of that, also dangerous.
Yeah, that's it. But I didn't tell you. I knew they wouldn't let me shoot if I told them I was running off of an hour of sleep. So I would be like, Johnny, okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just tired. And I had 50 pigeons. I didn't shoot. I think I shot 1, maybe. So maybe I imagined it. That was 50 pigeons. I was like, pull, pass. So, but let me tell you something. Here's what's so great about Happy Gilmore. I've seen it 6 times in one night, and you best believe I've seen it double that, between then and now. That movie is funny every time you watch it.
Yeah.
It's freaking, that alligator that took your hand? Well, I got his head.
Hey, do you know that guy's the bounty hunter or the guild leader? I didn't realize that until after
Creed
I rewatched it.
In Rocky.
Yeah. I was rewatching. I was like,
and he was what's his bucket in Predator.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But other news in Marvel, Doctor Strange 2.
Well, speaking of, never mind, Doctor Strange. Sorry. Okay, go.
Lost its director.
Really?
Doctor Strange 2 did.
Apparently, it's called the Multiverse
of Madness.
I thought we weren't doing the multiverse after Spider-Man was just we're not doing the multiverse.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, Doctor Strange 2's always been set for that.
Yeah.
Everybody thought we were getting it in Homecoming because of the way the trailer looked.
Well, that was just the storyline, yeah.
Well, Kevin Feige came out after the movie and said, even though that story that Mysterio told was fake, doesn't mean that it was completely wrong.
Okay.
So,
he made it up, but he was kind of right.
Well, yeah. He said what Earth we were, so I imagine he did some
research.
What
Earth, and he said something else, too.
Yeah, I imagine he did the research to be like, oh, this is the story I believe.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I figured that wasn't true for Mysterio, because I was like, Doctor Strange would have to be in Spider-Man then, which would be cool. But at the same time, I'm like, that's literally Doctor Strange's job to keep an eye out for that stuff. So if all of a sudden Mysterio's there and there's an alternate whatever. Like Doctor Strange's not doing his job right. So
that, we don't know what's going on right now either with Doctor Strange. Like, after Endgame, we have no idea what happened to like.
But still, like that
the
alone.
Rest of them besides Peter.
I guess, if you're thinking about him watching over it, he would kind of know if Mysterio was from a different place and be like,
I'm assuming that like the reason that like Doctor Strange didn't show up during that movie is because I don't think he's in our universe right now.
No, probably not.
Although that'd be really odd to place that right after he just came back to life. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Well, was he really? Yeah, but was he really
Homecoming
dead?
has a
issue
time
I have
gap
right
in
now
it
with
between
Marvel.
Endgame and when Far From Home actually takes off.
Well, Far From Home's directly after.
It is, but then there's like a time span in between. They're like, it takes place directly, but then they're like, many weeks, months, whatever.
Yeah,
later.
but that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would throw Doctor Strange into like an already universal threat.
Well, here's the thing
of Nightmare.
Did Doctor Strange, like when he was in the Soul Realm after they all got snapped, like?
Well, we don't know if they were actually there or not.
Well, no, we do because of A, Gamora, and 2, that deleted scene with the Hulk and Black Widow.
Yeah, but those are the only 2 people that it showed. It never showed anybody else.
But even then, like that the Soul Realm. In my opinion, I think they were all in the Soul Realm.
That's what I think. Yeah. But like they didn't show them.
And I think that Doctor Strange in the Soul Realm was just like, so there's other realms, and then,
he already knew about
and
him.
then discovered like other universes and stuff.
He already knew about him because he fought Dormammu in a different realm and universe.
Okay, all right, well,
he didn't know about the different realm things at least.
But I don't know.
I think it's connected. That's all I'm trying to say.
The one thing I don't like, speaking of connectedness, I don't necessarily like that the Disney Plus shows are going to connect to the movies.
Which show? Like all the
WandaVision, you have to watch because that sets up the Scarlet Witch
and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I don't know if that one's going to connect anything.
No, it is.
Okay.
They said that you need to watch that one too.
Okay, so I know for a fact WandaVision is going to connect into Multiverse of Madness because the main villain there is Nightmare's girlfriend, which I can't think of her name right off the top of my head.
Marketing.
And it is going to explain why Scarlet Witch now has chaos magic in Multiverse of Madness.
Because she can? I don't know.
I mean, well, like, right now, like, no one in the movie world knows that it's actually chaos magic. But it's,
I thought of something.
It seems dumb, but from their standpoint, genius marketing ploy by making you get Disney Plus to keep up on it.
Oh, by far.
So I thought of something. First of all, if they do with the Marvel shows what they did with Mandalorian, I'm not worried about it at all. But anyways, I thought so. So you were talking about like the X-Men and stuff like that with Eternals and whatnot, and I was like, how would they incorporate that? Like, could they bring the X-Men in? What about Scarlet Witch and Silver Surfer and blah blah blah? Like, because those are Magneto's kids. But
you mean
like
Quicksilver, not Silver Surfer.
Yes, that's what I said. Yeah. We're hearing the same thing.
That's what I thought.
You got headphones on. I got headphones on.
Okay. Just making sure
what he meant.
How many times I said shut up, Cody? How many times I say it?
A
lot. Yeah, you shut up. So it's always when we're recording here too. I'm always like, shut up.
Because we're in your house, so you feel like you can.
No, I tell you to shut up at your house.
It's not as much.
No, because it's your house.
See? It's because we're at your house now.
Yeah. Just shut up.
Okay.
No, but anyways, but I was like, so like they mentioned in Age of Ultron that their parents died, quote unquote, on like one of the attacks in Sokovia. So I'm like, well, what if their dad isn't dead, and their dad ends up being Magneto, and like that's how he ended up living like through it, but he had to be in hiding because stuff. I don't know. This is just my little.
I don't know.
thing.
I don't think they're gonna do that. The one thing I have an issue with is if they're gonna introduce Magneto, Magneto's gonna be like 80 years old.
So I could still have Ian McKellen then.
Yeah.
Bam.
But
boom.
Because he's a Holocaust survivor. So like, I don't know how. Like, are they gonna change it to something more modern?
Possibly.
Yeah, but then through that logic,
wouldn't like adjust it however they feel like?
Wouldn't like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch be older too instead of their age?
Touché. Well,
The fact that
they would be, but we also don't really know how old.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, how old are they right now?
Well, technically, if you look at the timeline, they're all supposed to be older, but because they're making it modern and doing it in the 2010, 2012, 2000. Instead of maybe being like a Holocaust survivor, he could be like, I don't know, like a Cold War survivor or something like that.
I wouldn't mind a NAM survivor. Like, say you went in at 18 at NAM.
And like NAM, yeah.
Like, and was a POW over there, then okay.
When was Magneto first introduced?
X-Men back in...
Well, I meant like year-wise.
Get on the internet again.
60s?
Oh, okay, so yeah, it would have been after the events anyways. I was like, some of these have been out forever, so they might have changed it afterwards
The only time I know they changed his origin story is in the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
And I can't remember the exact origin of Magneto.
August 1981.
Wow. That was way more recent than I would have expected.
I thought it was the 70s.
I thought it was the 60s, because most of them take place in the Civil Rights era.
Here's the thing. If they introduce the X-Men, I'm cool with that. I hope they don't introduce the X-Men, but they bring people from the X-Men, like Cyclops or
they're not.
Wolverine.
The only way they're going to introduce them in the Eternals is they're going to have like a throwaway line that says, or they'll show you something in Egypt.
Oh my gosh,
that's going to be Apocalypse.
Oh my gosh, I thought of it. I thought how they could use Cyclops. So they've been trying to like stay true to everything, but kind of realistically create these guys too at the same time. What if like Mysterio wasn't a magic person, he just used holograms for his illusions, stuff like that. Like that's a really good example of like
that's what he did in the actual comics though, is that he was a magician,
but he also had like magic and stuff. Yeah, he did.
No, he doesn't.
I thought one of the comics he did.
No,
did
he was just a failed magician that had
it? Or was it always that he was actually a failed magician?
Failed magician. Like, one, he was a scientist.
Well, what instrument did he play?
A magician?
Tuba.
Cody got
Boom.
The only one that has magic that's also a scientist is Dr. Doom.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I didn't realize he had magic.
Yeah.
His mom was a sorcerer.
Oh.
Ooh. Anyways, what if like Cyclops was like, I don't know, I guess blind, maybe not blind, I don't know, but then like he made like this like laser visor thing, so it's not like he actually shoots lasers from his eyes, but when he wears that, it's like the same concept of like Tony Stark's laser from his wrist or his like
you know the origin of Cyclops, right?
No,
those aren't actual lasers. They're portals into a dimension that's completely made of energy, and that's the energy that shoots out.
Oh, so his eyes are the portal.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
So, I mean, it's kind of a laser beam.
Yeah, like it's the weirdest origin I've ever heard.
What if he just like Tony Stark's like his own laser visor?
It wouldn't be bad.
I think that'd be cool,
but that would also defeat the purpose of having mutants be a thing.
Well, see, and that's the thing, like, because like
what's the difference between him being a mutant at that point?
Well, like that's what I'm saying, like, because they're not introducing mutants, they're introducing enhanced humans, like Hawkeye.
They get to change that now, though.
Yeah, aren't they coming out with new mutants?
No, that's under Fox.
No, it's Fox.
That's the last movie Fox has ever come out with.
I think what they're going is good.
Under them.
I think what they're doing is good.
Like they're not going to incorporate it.
I'm like, technically, like, Spider-Man's a mutant, but they haven't said that yet. Technically, Hawkeye's a mutant, but like
Hawkeye's not a mutant.
I thought he was.
No.
Yeah, because he's he has like. Yeah.
No, he's not.
I didn't think Spider-Man was a mutant.
No.
I just thought
remember in the
altered.
In the cartoon, he goes up to Professor X, is wondering what kind of mutant he is, and they talk.
And then later, he says, "No, that was a ruse to get you here."
Oh. I was
mutants
really
are
young.
born that way.
Yeah.
Spider-Man gets his through.
What's the difference between a mutant and like an enhanced person?
That's the question as old as time of Marvel Comics.
Sure.
The whole reason the mutants were invented was to tell stories about like civil rights and like injustices. That's why Magneto and Charles Xavier are modeled after Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why they like depict.
So they really don't need to be mutants. They just could be still be enhanced people and not ever use the word mutants.
Theoretically, yes, but people want mutants.
No, you're gonna have who wants mutants?
Marvel. If you're gonna have X-Men, why would you call
then they can't
I'm
be
a Marvel
fan,
and then like I'm okay with them doing their thing.
I mean, the reason
then you
the
want the X-Men,
is because
which
they
are
have
mutants.
that altered X gene that gave them their mutant powers.
We could still do. I don't think we need to be shoving like mutants down everyone's throats. Like I think, like having like a.
They're not. People are literally asking for X-Men.
Yeah,
to put the mutants in.
That's what I don't like, because people will be like, give us X-Men, and what are their expectations? We have the cartoons and the movies that are there.
The movies are terrible, except for 3 of them.
Yeah.
So
no, I'll agree with that.
them?
Yeah, like literally half, if not less than that.
It's like the same thing with Batman. People,
is it half or is that just under?
You have X, X2, X3.
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. What's the one before Days of Future Past? First Class.
That wasn't good.
New Mutants. Okay, so
well, then there's more because you have.
They have Wolverine.
You have Wolverine,
and then
you have
Origins. So out of like 8.
Yeah, but I don't really count the Wolverine ones. Those are standalone.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's 6 still, and that's counting New Mutants. So right now they're batting at.
That's not counting New Mutants because Dark Phoenix would be the 6th.
Okay,
I heard that movie was horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. And Apocalypse, I forgot about that one.
I heard Apocalypse was horrible too.
Yeah. So they're batting less than 50%.
That's why I stopped and was like, "Is it half?" Because I was like, "I'm missing some."
And the ones I'm counting are like X1. They have 4 good ones.
X1, 2, and
X1, 3. Logan. That's if you count it because it's a standalone. Technically,
Wolverine was good. Well, no, let's not do the standalones.
Okay, so Logan doesn't count. So you have X1, First Class, Days of Future Past.
I haven't seen that one yet.
X2 was good.
I've been meaning to see.
X2 was all right. They really jacked up Phoenix, but
no, that was X3.
I'm talking about the origin because they showed what she was doing.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, it got weird to me with Stryker when they really started to explore Stryker. I was like, let's go back to the.
Oh yeah, and they didn't even. So they introduced Legion, and Legion's not Stryker's kid; it's Charles Xavier's bastard child.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
So,
but here's the thing:
3 was weird.
Here's the thing about X-Men is that people want X-Men, people want this and that, and they want mutants. But they have it based off of these things which they already really love. It's the same thing with Batman. When they heard that Batman vs Superman was coming out and they got this Batman going, how many people were like, "Oh, it's based off of Dark Knight," or they wanted something just like Dark Knight, or blah blah blah, because that's where they held the standard at, and then they were disappointed. That's why I'm like, let's stop holding standards of something that's going to be completely different. Go into it with an open mind.
You could still do X-Men. You just have to get people to go in with an open
mind.
Then
they can't say that they're basing it off of something.
That's fine. Soon as they say, don't do it.
Okay, then
the problem is when they say
immediately
based off
because technically,
blank, or people are just too stuck. Well,
no, because technically, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are based off of the X-Men. But they did fine with what they're doing.
They're about to tell Scarlet Witch she's a mutant.
No, because they were created by the Tesseract.
They can retcon that.
No, that'd be stupid.
They're going to.
That'd be stupid. They've been going. They've been going good for 10 years. They're going to change it all of a sudden just because they have Fox.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
but no,
the only reason they
why would you do that?
Because they couldn't do it the way they wanted before.
Because you know why? If you don't change,
but obviously what they're doing now is just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah, now they can legally do what they wanted to do.
It's going to be their downfall. I'm telling you.
Not.
I bet you it is.
It'll be fine.
I bet you it is.
It'll be fine.
Mark this. At this time of day, I'm going to say I told you so later in the future.
The 15th of January, 2020.
Cody, I'm going to tell you, shut up.
No, they need to switch her to a mutant because you're never going to get House of M. They'll never be able to do
we need all this? Do we really need all this in the MCU?
If you don't want mutants in it, you do. Because House of M eliminates a 98% of mutants.
Why can't we just keep doing what they've been doing and doing their own thing just based off of the comic books?
Because if you keep doing the same thing, then it will fail. You have to up the ante.
You can still up the ante, but you can't completely flip it just because now you have X-Men.
You're not flipping anything. No one had a plan after the Endgame.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Kind of, sort of, but probably
Why do you think
really.
it's taking so long for movies to come out? They didn't have a
legal
plan.
reasons.
Really
for what?
Black Widow's coming
what
out
legal
soon.
reasons?
I don't know.
To acquire things that they needed to do the plan that they may have.
They don't need. They didn't need anything. There are a million other superheroes out there they could have used.
Okay, so you're telling me that they'd
have to reestablish the whole thing with.
Yeah.
It's not my fault they put a cap on it and then went crap. People still want more.
Well, they could have stopped.
They had a plan. It was an 8. What? Not even 8 years. It was 10. It was a decade.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But even then, you say that after Endgame, they were just like, shoot, now what? Like,
no, they had a plan, and I think the whole time their plan was to get back what they didn't.
Disney's whole plan was not to just
the Tesseract could have been used as well. As far as we know, that's what made you. Until they figure more out.
Oh, really quick before I forget, kind of that's on the same topic, kind of. I heard the Loki show is about the Loki we saw in Endgame that disappeared with the Tesseract.
It's exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's not about the dead Loki.
No,
it's about the alternate universe.
Loki?
Technically, Loki lit.
No, he's dead.
No,
he's dead.
I got to explain. Technically, he's alive, even though he's dead at the same time.
Oh, because of
their time travel.
Yeah. But then again, because of the time travel logic, like he's in that thread, and the dead Loki's
exactly.
Okay.
He's in branched.
Time travel logic is wrong.
No, it's not.
It's not wrong, but it's not right. No, you can't say it's not wrong because you can't.
No, it's based off of an actual theory.
Well, for one, we can't actually time travel, but based on that,
can we?
If they're saying
you don't know that technically because we could all be
Einstein
living
even
in a
said
loop.
even if we can't travel, we can still look into the past easily. Look at what are photos.
Okay, my problem with their whole time travel thing is they're going, oh well, he just got into a new timeline. Well, then wouldn't Falcon and Winter Soldier or whoever was there with him not realize that's old Cap? Like, wouldn't they sit there going, who are you and why are you handing me this thing?
No, they didn't say that at all. They knew who he was.
How, though?
Well, like, why would an old man be sitting on a bench where they just sent back the other Cap in? Like, that old man had no idea what was going on there.
Plus, he kind of looked like their friend, just old.
Just
like normal old people.
Yeah, except he's like 210 years old.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
But if they went to a new timeline, they would have never known
it's
who
not
Cap
a new
was
timeline. It's not a new timeline. Because once they went back into the past, that is their future.
I'm sorry, I thought this Loki question would take like 3 seconds.
I know. It isn't. It's the one that just took the Tesseract and jetted out. It's that one.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah. But
like
also, cool little tidbit, since you said something about DC. So I've just finished Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW.
Oh, yeah?
So,
they finished that up.
They canonized the DCEU in the CW show.
Kind of. It was really weird.
That's the movies. Oh, good.
So, like, Grant Gustin's Flash is in the Speed Force, and all of a sudden he shows up in this weird lab, and he's like, where am I? And he, like, turns around, he sees blue, and, like, Ezra Miller's Flash from
really?
Justice League. He's like, who are you? And then, like, they start talking in unison.
Canonizing it, but at the same time, you could argue, well, it's not really canon because it could just be a different universe.
They almost canonized Dark Knight because they were going to have
Christian Bale.
No, they were going to have Ra's al Ghul. Liam Neeson be Ra's al Ghul because he was like, hey, I'll do it. And the producers were like, no.
They could have done it in a different way. He's like, make it canon.
He's like,
well,
no,
probably because Christopher Nolan would have threw it BF if they. Threw
no, apparently, like they thought he'd be expensive, and Liam Neeson was just like, no, I'll do it for you. Like it's no problem. Like he wanted to do it, and they just kept pushing him away. Which I didn't know. Liam Neeson came back to be Qui-Gon Jinn in the Rebels. I'm watching the Rebels show.
I like the Rebels
and Clone Wars.
I don't like Clone Wars as much.
Well, I'm watching Clone Wars. I can watch Rebels, and like I was like, I hate the show. My wife's like, why? And like the first thing comes up is like, this time on Clone Wars, and I was like, that right there is why I don't like this.
Oh. Rebels is a lot better.
Yeah, and that's what people tell me. I just need to watch it because unfortunately, because at the end of Mandalorian, and apparently the rumors I've heard in episode 9, which don't you dare confirm or deny any of them, but like apparently they all connect to the cartoons, and I'm like, crap, now I gotta watch the cartoons now in order to get everything, and it's pissing me off.
You don't really have to watch all of the cartoons. You can just watch that
the fact that like they're doing that, like rumor has it, like the old Republic is going to be
a movie and TV show.
Yeah, right. But they're going to be using stuff from the cartoons from there too.
They're just picking and choosing what they want out of it. At least out of Clone Wars.
Yeah, but even then, so like I need to watch it so I can see what they pick and choose, and same thing with Rebels.
I tell you what they use in Clone Wars for Old Republic. They're going to use the Inquisitors.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Isn't he in Rebels too?
They were disbanded in
and the
Rebels,
fact that Darth
but
Maul's
like
alive,
they
there's
had
one in there,
like
isn't there?
outbrand. They had like rogue factions of Inquisitors.
Okay.
Yeah, and the fact
pretty
that
sure
like
we have
Darth
the
Maul's
cutout
alive
of
is
him.
also like,
There's a rumor they're making a TV show of Darth Maul.
which would be dumb, but okay.
I hope not. He's cool.
I mean, if it's a
His
prequel
brother's
for
cool,
Darth
too.
Maul,
No,
that'd
because
be cooler.
There is. He has a
'cause
brother
people are like, hey,
black
there's
and yellow.
Like,
No,
I'd
'cause
like to see like his
people are-
backstory.
No, people are like, oh, there's a Darth Maul TV show. I was like, yeah, it's called Rebels and Clone Wars. Like,
Yeah, but I don't like his spider legs that much.
I don't
wish they
care.
just gave him
Yeah, but he
regular
has
legs.
those in Solo. At the end of Solo when he shows
I
up.
don't know.
I didn't watch Solo that much.
Oh, yeah, he shows up at the end of Solo. Because apparently he's like the big boss guy.
Just give him regular legs.
So, like, no, because he got chopped off by, like,
Chopped
Yeah,
in
but what
half.
says they can't have regular legs?
Oh, like regular
Why?
robot legs
Yeah, why
instead
can't
of
they just be
spider?
2 legs instead of?
well, he ends up getting 2 legs.
I know, but like I've never understood why you had like
And
spider robot
apparently
legs.
in Kenobi, the TV show, they are going to show that scene from Rebels when Kenobi kills Darth Maul. So,
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they're gonna
guess,
have a
yeah.
Darth Maul show. I want it to be like a prequel thing. 'cause
Have you
I
ever
wanna know
watched
his
the
backstory.
fan-made
I don't
movie
want
of
like
Darth Maul?
continuation. I want to see like before.
look up
Uh,
Star Wars Theory on YouTube. They have this whole backstory.
Yeah, but I
Or
wanna see
look
it
up.
played out.
There's a
Canon and
fan-made
Legend.
movie about Darth Maul, and it's so cool.
The fight scene in the
Yes.
forest. Yeah, that was really
Yes.
cool, actually.
That was like the coolest Darth Maul scene I've seen in a long time.
But no, hey, did you guys see? Okay, did you guys see that? I hit my mic with my foot. That Birds of Prey is rated R.
That
Really?
wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
yeah. They finally came out with the rating. It's rated R.
Not
Well, you
overly
have Harley
surprised by
Quinn
that.
and Huntress
But-
on the
I'm
same
not overly
team.
surprised, but at the same time, I'm like,
They
oh, this
better
is
not-
an R-rated DC
I'm not
movie.
overly surprised, but at the same time, the fact that Underwater is PG-13 and Birds of Prey is R makes me kind of sit there and question it.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that
But
makes
it's
me
probably
wonder.
just language
so-
in Birds of Prey.
Probably like violence too.
Well, that makes me
Yeah,
question
but they
this
have to
then.
have so much like blood and stuff for rated R and violence. It's probably the language mostly. In
Probably
Birds
a lot of
Prey.
blood in it. I'm guessing. I'm guessing like it's like Deadpool stuff.
Well, that makes me question though. I told him earlier, The Flash just got its director,
Yeah,
and
yeah, dude,
it's
that's straight up
the
gonna be
It,
Flashpoint.
and
Like,
it's
they
the
haven't
It
talked about
director.
anything
So
else
but I
other than
wonder
that.
Wait, who's the director?
the guy who directed it.
One of 'em, I don't remember which
Matishi.
Okay.
Anyway, but if that's rated R, then that makes me question if they're gonna make Flashpoint R. Because
Probably.
I know they're
Probably that's a dark.
well,
story.
they're not doing the whole thing. They
Yeah.
are more than likely going to cut out the war part.
Are they just trying to redo what they think they did wrong?
Basically,
Pretty much, that's what
Flashpoint
it
is
they're
going to
reset the
be
DC
like,
universe.
and
Stupid.
redo things that we
You
didn't
have
like.
to. They have a new Joker. They have a new Batman.
Who's the new Joker?
They don't have a new Joker yet.
Oh yeah, because
I
the
mean-
new Batman movie.
Yeah,
Who is the
Well, they don't
Joker
have
in
a
that
new Joker
movie?
yet.
I don't know. They haven't cast him
Could
yet.
be Leto.
How
again,
cool
but
would it
nobody
be if it was
knows.
Jared Leto in that movie
I
with
would
like
love
all
it.
these people? That would be perfect.
Well, they could fix his face and everything else with it, but
So
But they could fix your opinion on him.
because after reading
and like 90% of the else
comments
population.
after reading comments on the discussion we're gonna have with that movie, is it that you didn't like his acting or was it the character itself?
The character.
So it's
All
not
about the
nothing.
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
with
no,
Leto.
nothing to
So
do
it's
with Leto.
things that
It's
had
character.
that he
I've
had
never
no
said it was
control over.
performance.
Well, you said you didn't like Jared Leto's Joker, and I'm like, well,
No, he said it was his like not
Okay.
like his facade or something like that.
He was
or-
the
aesthetically
look.
unpleasing.
aesthetically unpleasing. I'm like, well, he's not supposed to be
So,
aesthetically pleasing.
outside-
He didn't match the Joker in my
Yeah.
not how he looked. He looked like a juggalo, and that's not what the Joker is.
the director had an explanation for that, and he said essentially they threw it back to like what the original Joker idea was, and that it was a maniacal gangster.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
made him a modern gangster, which he straight up looked like a modern
He
gangster.
did. He did good.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
A modern gangster's smarter than that. The wannabe fakesters look like that.
I mean, he looks like the rappers that are today.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. There's no way. No way that he makes it up the ranks the way he looks. They would just shoot him.
I mean,
Especially
if
with how
he's
crazy
crazy
he
enough,
is.
they might not be able to
No,
question it.
you
They
wanna
might
talk
be
about-
too
you
freaked
wanna
out.
talk about looks,
but
and
also fair point.
In The
But
Dark Knight,
just
all they
saying
did was
what
just make fun of
his-
his looks. But
okay.
he ranked himself
scars because he cut a smile.
It wasn't that. They were talking. The Joker brought up the scars. Everyone else was talking about his purple suit and his makeup and his green hair.
I was giving you why the director.
I know. That seems like a lackluster answer.
I mean, it makes sense because he does kind of look like a modern gangster. What you picture as a modern gangster.
I still picture a modern gangster as think of a corporate tycoon. That is modern gangster.
I mean, I think that as a classy modern gangster, but like a modern psychopath dude with money, I picture the Joker.
Modern gangsters only care about money.
They Stop hitting your elbow on the table. It's making this go vibrating.
Oh. They do not want the attention drawn with facial tattoos.
Yeah, but the Joker wants
the level
that
of gangster.
The Joker that's who the Joker is.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he is.
Watch the Dark Knight again. Jokes. That's what he wants.
He did do sick jokes.
Not the most canon accurate Joker.
No, but still, it's the one that people like the most.
I know,
it's definitely better. It's definitely of a more modern take.
Jack Nicholson's Joker. Look at that one. He threw a parade in his own honor.
Well, that's the Joker. The Joker wouldn't have facial tattoos.
It depends.
He wouldn't.
Well, no, not back then, but today he would.
But it also depends what level of gangster.
Okay. What is the punchline of having facial tattoos? There's no murder. There's no nothing. There's no sick joke involved with having facial tattoos.
No, it's just
putting a facial tattoo on someone. Now there's the joke in there. Yeah. That would be the Joker.
I mean, I'm not.
I can see that. I know what you're saying.
I get your side with it, but I also get what they were saying because I mean, if you think about the Bloods and the Crips and stuff as a modern gangster, well, that's kind of what they look like.
The underlings, the ones who are in charge of them, do not look that way.
I'll tell you what.
What most people recognize is I think what they were going with, and that's what people recognize is that look.
I'll give you this.
Okay, then what would make it even?
I'm trying to agree with you.
Then here's the thing. Here's the one way you can fix it. If you want that aesthetically pleasing and to show him he's a head honcho instead of that, the joke could literally be that they're fake tattoos and they wipe off.
Could be, but he wasn't there long enough to know.
That is true. I'll give you that.
So I'm trying to agree with you, Alex.
If that's how they want to retcon it and fix it, then I'll take it that way.
Okay.
That'd be a good way to fix it.
It would. So there you go,
Leto
David Aaron DC, if you listen.
Okay, so you don't think Leto necessarily did bad. You just don't like the look. Because that's what I've seen some people arguing based on the last trailer that dropped for his new superhero movie. Because some people are like, well, why would you watch it? He was horrible as Joker. And a lot of people are like, he wasn't bad as Joker. They were like, it was everything out of his control that you don't like. Like, if you actually look at his performance, he did good.
Yeah, really good performance.
Especially for
the
5
scenes
minutes
with Mad Love. The scenes that portrayed Mad Love, which is whenever he turns Harley Quinn
drops her into
Harley
the acid.
Quinzel into Harley Quinn. That whole transaction was great. It's exactly how it would go. It's just the way he looked with the facial tattoos and the grill, and in a nice fancy suit, by the way.
Yeah.
I do really like that suit.
I did not like the facial tattoos and grill. It threw everything out.
Yeah. I did like the tattoo on his stomach that said ha 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 ha. I felt like that was
right here.
Oh, it was up here. I thought that added it good.
That one didn't bother me though.
It was just the face.
It was just the face and the grill.
So if he didn't
have, the grill was the worst.
I could kind of see why the Joker would have a grill. Because that is a joke thing, but anyways, he
could take it out.
I could admit that the face tattoos was kind of weird, but I could totally get the side of the director being like modern gangster.
I guess though if they're going for the modern gangster, they should have had as nice of a suit.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you earlier about your stance on the Joker, but because it took too long, I don't want to anymore.
That's a shitty answer.
I get where you're coming from now. For some reason, every time it was brought up, Jared Leto, you're like, no, it was bad. And I'm like, but what was bad? Now I get it. You've probably told me that before, but now I feel like a better understanding of it.
Yeah, your explanation for it has opened my eyes, but I'm still not agreeing.
Well,
I've
also had to explain it so many times that I figured out ways to lower it to get it to how you guys can understand how I feel.
Where you're coming from.
What sold me as his because for me, I'm like his performance as the Joker
was fine.
I thought was fine, and how he portrayed the Joker, but I wasn't looking at his face tattoos or how he was dressed.
I was because it took me out of it.
I got you,
which I can understand.
For me, but you understand, for me,
Jon, I didn't look at the costume as much as I did the overall.
And for me, I would totally wear what he was wearing if I was in that situation. So for me, I was like, I love it. But that's just the type of person I am.
That's where I see
here's
the
another way of
disconnect,
fixing
though, with what the director was saying, because for a modern gangster look, he was in too nice of a suit.
Not if you want to show off that you have that money and power, then you would wear something like that.
I guess, yeah.
The scene that got me was when they were in the kitchen and the guy was rambling. He comes behind, he's like blah 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 blah, and like he's just like.
That's the scene that took me out the most.
Well, probably
because you know what I focused on the whole time?
His face.
That stupid ass grill.
Oh yeah. No, like no. Honestly, like
if they had him more prominent where he could make more jokes and he used the grill in it, then I wouldn't mind it. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with you. The grill was awful.
Yeah. Again, I liked it because that's how I would.
I just don't think grills look good in anybody.
Here's the other way to fix the grill, though, because they said that he had it because Batman broke his teeth out.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So if that's the truth, but they never said that in the movie, though.
No, but I'm gonna pretend that now.
But if they actually said that in the movie, like if he was like, "Do you know why I got these nice make a joke about his shiny teeth,
these nice pearly whites or something like?"
Now that since Batman knocked him out of my face, I want him to realize that now I'm better. Or make a weird cynical joke about it. Then I'd be all right with it. The tattoos.
You have something to say about my shiny teeth and me?
Oh yeah. But yeah, anyway, but that scene right there was because the way Jared Leto held himself and the way that you could tell that he was crazy and that he didn't care if this guy gave him the answer he wanted to hear or not. This guy was a dead man no matter what. See that scene right there, I was like, yeah, he's the Joker. He's a psycho. But again, because that's how I would dress and everything is why I was like, I was like, dude, I love your jacket.
I get the costume pulling you out though.
So. Because if you look at the first Joker, he had the crazy suit and tie. He wasn't aesthetically pleasing in the Adam West one just because he looked like a total freak. But again, he's still the Adam West Joker.
Cesar Romero?
Yeah, I thought he looked like a weirdo.
Well, the original Joker was.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, I was distracted by his suit. I was like, I feel like they went over the top with it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To be fair, everything at that time was over the top.
Yeah.
Well, the original Cesar Romero one was that he was supposed to be the trickster. He wasn't maniacal at that point. He was just literally a stupid villain.
Yeah, I've seen people
Jack
make
Nicholson
a picture
that's
really saying
one.
That's
which one they are. They showed Cesar Romero being the trickster, and then they had Heath Ledger as the anarchist, and they had Jack Nicholson is something else, and then Jared Leto is something else. So they broke them down in different types of Jokers, which I was like,
what was Mark Hamill's? Because that's the true Joker.
Oh, well, duh. But I don't remember what his was.
Can we just move on from the 90s cartoon? It was a great cartoon.
You
but
shut your mouth right now.
Everybody's holding the standards I want Mark Hamill as Joker. No, he wouldn't do a good job as Joker. He has the voice, but that's it.
I don't know. Well, no, he probably would because a lot of the voice acting he did, he had the movements in the studio with him.
Have you ever watched his recordings?
No, I've seen it. I understand that, but doing that in front of a mic in a small studio and actually doing it on camera, two different things.
It's Mark Hamill.
I'm not saying anything bad about him.
Actor.
I know he is.
He hasn't done a lot of live action outside of Star Wars, though, has he?
Not a lot.
The Kingsman.
He's mostly a voice actor, I think.
Yeah.
He did The Flash.
I understand what he did, but again, I feel like people are freaking out too much.
It's more that style of Joker, I think, is what people want, and none of them have done it like that.
Yeah.
Or imitate the laugh and voice.
Yeah.
But again, each Joker, just like each Batman, is its own thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like each Joker has commented the Batman that has changed throughout the years.
Sort of, but to be fair, Batman hasn't really changed a lot. It's still the same basic character, whereas the Joker has had various different iterations that are very different from each other. Ledger's Joker wasn't bad for what he did, but as far as if you're looking for someone that's cracking jokes and being funny, he wasn't all that funny.
He was
no
dark humor.
Make the pencil disappear was the
that was hilarious.
There were some parts, but overall, I was like,
or I know this wasn't supposed to happen, but his improv scene of the
what I say about hitting the table?
Explode the hospital and it didn't actually explode. Yeah,
that was funny.
Or
the fire truck on fire.
That one was pretty funny too. I like when he sticks his head out the window of the car and he's going.
Oh yeah, like the dog. Yeah.
Or whenever he first shows up and he's like, "Now,
he's like, no, I killed the
I'm
bus
supposed
driver.
or I killed the guy at the vault, but I know you're supposed to kill me." And he's like, "No, I'm supposed to kill the bus driver." And he's like, "What?" And he
what
gets
bus
hit
driver?
By the bus.
And then he puts the smoke grenade in the dude's mouth.
Yeah.
That was
See,
good,
that's the cynical jokes that the Joker should do.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, a lot of the stuff they were doing, it might have been the voice in it too that fell flat for me because I just didn't like the voice he did for it.
Which one?
Ledger's voice.
Oh, see, I love this voice.
What I liked,
it wasn't bad. I was just like, it could have been better.
What I like about
I wasn't
JJ,
a huge fan of the voice itself.
Crap, was it J.J. Abrams that did it? No, it was Christopher Nolan. Sorry, I get them too confused. Anyways, there's what Christopher Nolan actually did say was that he was trying to make realistic Batman, and so for Heath Ledger to be like a crazy guy, like he had like a tick, and his tick was like licking his lips and stuff like that. You know, and that's why I liked his voice because like he's a crazy dude. He's got a tick. You know, he's like.
See, I like Joaquin Phoenix's tick because he had the condition where you laugh inappropriately.
I don't know that one. Yet.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
The like actual medical condition is that you'll laugh at any point, like your body will just start laughing to the point like it actually hurts, and you can't do anything about it.
I've heard about that.
It's like an inappropriate time.
It's like supposed to be such an outcast because it'll be like a serious moment or something where laughing's not appropriate, and he'll just bust out laughing because he can't not.
Yeah,
I'm okay with hanging out with someone like that,
but I don't know. I will say this: Jared Leto's laugh was pretty on point.
It was. I did like it. So
it was good.
There you go. We're gonna end it there. We all agreed on something with Jared Leto. Okay, we're just gonna end it there. You guys heard it.
Yeah.
All right. More to come. Oh, more announcements to come. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, you can look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us on jcradio.podcast@gmail.com. Anything
also
else?
On Spreaker and Spotify and YouTube.
There you go.
As if you want to listen. The rest are socials. The last three were spots to listen.
Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow.
Anything else you can do on any one of those sites. Hit the bell.
Click the button.
Yeah. Everything. Just click all the buttons to follow everything.
We got announcements coming out. So start clicking those buttons so you can hear those announcements.
Make sure you hear.
Oh, no.
You're clicking so fast.
Well, no. That's the sound of Cody slowly running up to you because you spilled popcorn in the movie theater. And
oh, yeah.
Pow! Remember that. Don't do that. So
yes.
Well, if that is it and everybody is done, this is JC Radio, and we're signing out.
Peace.